Jen, this is so cool. Number one, that we get to work together.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Jen started working for us. When was this?
In March.
In March. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, so I've been here, October will be 24 years. So I say you just started, because in my mind, you've just started.
I did just start.
Yeah. But we've gone through summer camp, which was incredible. Yeah. We had over 1,700 students in all of our summer camps, from kids and youth. Come to an NCN district summer camp. That is like
amazing.
Mind blown emoji. Love it. So why we're coming at you today though is because I've gotten a couple calls, and you guys said I would. Like, you and Faith were like, and the team was like, Char, we're gonna get calls on this. And the question is that we're getting is about youth convention. This year, youth convention, November 11th through 12th. Registration is open.
Yes.
Get in early. I'm just going to plug that. Get your registration done early so you pay less. Just heads up on that. But, the theme is presence.
Yes.
Super excited about the theme.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the graphic just looks hot. Kyle did a great job,
Absolutely.
I thought, on the graphic. So we're going to have a folder for you guys, like a Google Drive. We're going to send out posters and those kinds of things. For those who don't do in-house printing, but we know some of you just want the graphics because you're going to do stories and all those kinds of things on social. So we're going to have a folder for you on the Google Drive, and we'll put that on the registration page so you have access to all that. But you'll notice it says youth and young adult.
Right.
Right?
Right.
What were
everybody kind of go.
What were some of the concerns on that? What was the concern on that?
Yeah, I know that it gets kind of scary, and it's a little bit nervous when you have teenagers and anybody over the age of 18. Mm-hmm. We all know that we try to keep things well,
like as safe as possible.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
With our youth and with our young adults. And so I know that there was concern about everybody being in the same building at the same time. Mm-hmm. How do we monitor that? And so we have some ways that we're going to help alleviate some stress for our pastors and for our parents that are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. So, people are like, Char, this isn't probably a good idea. I think in the back of their minds, they're like, Char, you don't have kids. You only have raised small dogs. Do you realize there's an issue? So, right, we've raised small dogs, right? Yeah. You go in our offices, there's pictures of our babies.
Yes.
So here's the vision behind it, because there is a vision behind it. Now, going back years when I was young, when I would bring my youth group back in 2000, Pastor Brett was our DYD. When I would bring my youth group to youth convention, do you know who was running youth convention back in those days? Internships.
Wow.
Young adults ran youth convention. Why? Because it's so vital that the next generation hands off the baton to the next generation. So our heart right now is all next gen. Yeah. So the conference is aimed at youth, but I wanted you to be aware young adults will be in the room. So we are not saying if you're going to walk up to the window as a young adult over the age of 18, you're free to come in. No. The reality is that everybody who comes to the conference, who comes to YthCon, will be background checked if they are over the age of 18. If they are assisting with youth convention and they're over the age of 18, they will not only have done a live scan, but they will also have done the new California mandated reporter training with their church and with the district.
Right.
So they will be live scanned through their church ORI number. If we're talking live scan speak, if you understand ORI number, right? I'm having to learn all this stuff, and I don't want to learn all this stuff. So I just say, Faith, Jen, you guys do, and then you tell me what's going on.
Yes.
But it's vital that we know that everybody over the age of 18 is going to be live scanned, and if they're working with students over the age of 18, they'll be live scanned, and they have to go through the California mandated reporter training. Now, does that ensure that nothing ever happens? No, but it's absolutely a safety measure. Right. The reality is this, and I heard this statistic recently. Do you know that 1% of people are actually minor molesters, child molesters? Only 1%.
Wow.
And so that was kind of comforting, because I think we hear so many stories, and I'm not saying the stories aren't legit, but I don't want to wager on inviting entire generation to be in the building to see what God is doing, because of 1% of people I'm concerned about. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, because I thought that number would be higher.
I thought so too.
I'm actually really surprised that it's only 1%.
1%.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone recently, they went through this, they told me this statistic. I should look it up, but I was like, wow. She's like, Char, I just want to let you know, it's, after I spoke somewhere, she's like, it's 1% of people. And we're not downplaying the 1%.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of people in our society who have gone through trauma and horrible experiences. But we want to let you know we are going to put safeguards in place. So one of the things that we're also going to do is there's going to be different colored wristbands.
Right.
So a leader wears a color of wristband.
Yes.
A student wears a different color. And then if you're over the age of 18 and you're not a student leader, you will have a different color of wristband.
Right.
So we need to just make sure that young people are hitting on the right color.
Right.
I know it sounds so bad, like you go to youth convention, but no, the reality is young people they're made to connect. They want to connect.
Yeah.
They're going, maybe thinking, hey, man, maybe I'm going to meet a man or a woman of God. That's not a bad thought. That's probably pretty natural.
Yeah.
I know that, when you're young, you're walking into youth convention, you're kind of scoping out the scene. Okay, I need to behave because I'm going to get into territory that we're going to have to stop the recording. Right? You're going to be like, Char. But we want to make sure that everybody knows it's visible.
Yes.
Like if you look over and someone's talking the color, a student is 17 and they're got an orange wristband on, and you look over and there's somebody with a blue, you're like, oh, who are you? Get away from my kid.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to monitor that. It's going to be visually available for us to see. And then the second thing is we're going to have separate bathroom use.
Yes. So
anybody over I'm just doing this across the board at every event I do with minors. No adult ever needs to be in a restroom with a minor. Even Jen, when I used to travel as an evangelist, and I would go to youth groups, do you know that I literally would station the person who traveled with me? I would have them outside the restroom, just so that if any accusations, because we know we live in a society right now of cancel culture, we live in a Me Too movement, and victims absolutely have a voice now, which is a beautiful thing, but there's also no recourse, it seems like, for the person who's been accused. Right now in our society, you're kind of guilty until proven innocent. And so we just want to make sure that that we're keeping everybody safe, that we are keeping, number one, students safe and protected the most. And also there's a level of protection for the adult leader, so that there's never any doubt. You're like, it wasn't me. I was totally in a different restroom. Yeah. Right. So I don't know.
I think that it's important too. I mean, the Bible talks about avoiding the appearance of evil. Yep. And if there's no accountability on that, I think that we failed if we're not doing something in that area to provide that for our adults. So having separate bathrooms, I think, is really intentional.
I think it's great. And so we're just going to switch subjects really quick. Okay. And I wanted to share my mug with you because this is my spiritual gift. I came, I saw, I made it awkward. So I hope that we've been able to make this conversation as awkward as possible.
Yeah.
It's my gift, spiritual gift. But I just wanted to remind us, before we leave, I have my Bible open for a reason. I wanted to remind us why it's so important that we have young adults in the room with youth. We saw this year at camp that young adults were leading worship.
Yeah.
They were doing things like running the soundboard, running lights, camera, action, all that kind of stuff. We saw at kids camp that we had a teenage worship team.
Yes.
And so my heart, and I believe God's heart, the Father heart of God, is that once you pass the baton in a relay race, you don't hit the showers, you stay on the field to see how the race ends. Right. And so we need young adults to stay on the field, to guide, to say, hey, you know what? I know I'm only like 3 years older than you maybe. So when I'm saying young adults, I'm not talking about the 35-year-old dude who's, like living with mom and dad in the basement. Am I getting in trouble on that one?
No.
Okay. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying here. Right? We're going to cap this because for our called initiative right now, our called initiative is the commissioning is from 16 to 22. We know that's a wide range, but we're saying, hey, we want to commission this next generation. why it's so important. I believe in 2 Chronicles 30, this morning as I was reading, I thought this is so apropos, because Hezekiah, as he becomes the king, Hezekiah's the king, and they're going to start the Passover again. They're going to go back in. They're going to follow the ways of King David, the ways of the Lord. And so they start the Passover, but guess what? They don't have enough Levites who have consecrated themselves. They don't have enough priests who have consecrated themselves.
Wow.
They had enough Levites, but they didn't have enough of them consecrated.
Wow.
And so I believe we have a generation out there. We have enough of a generation to change the world. We just don't have enough of a generation that's consecrated. And
good.
Recently, literally, I heard, like in my being, Char, sanctification heals you, consecration kills you.
Wow.
And I was like, what? No way, right? Note to self,
Yeah.
right? Because it's true. When God calls you and says, no, I'm going to consecrate you for this purpose, he sets you aside. There's a death that has to happen. And I believe what has happened, though, in the ministry is many of us have talked about the wreckage of ministry and not the rewards.
Wow.
And so there is a part of you that's killed in regards to consecration, but the reward outweighs. Am I right, guys? Following Christ and saying, hey, I'm all in, Jesus, is like way more rewarding than anything the world, than any car I could ever get, any home I could ever buy, any high paying, anything, or any relationship. I mean, when you say, God, I'm gonna consecrate myself, or as David Grant says, I'm gonna put myself in the offering basket. He's gonna be one of our speakers at Youth Convention. The guy is phenomenal. Yeah. There's nothing like it. So I want to make sure that we have a generation that is being handed a baton, that they're not just running and then they're like aimlessly going, wait a second, wait, where did everybody go? Oh, they hit the showers. I want to make sure that the young adults stay on the field and they see how the race goes.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Right. Well, guys, this is our heart. We just wanted to let you know what was happening. Again, if you have any questions, please give me a call, text me, call Jen.
Yeah.
She's been working also with our Called initiative. It's just been wonderful. So anyways, we're here for you. We love you, and we want to answer any questions you have.